everyone, it's Lyle from Kingston Productions. Today's review is about one of my all-time favorite TV shows ever, and it is finally returned. Now on IMDb it says that it's Prison Break sequel and then it's a brand new show, but a lot of people are calling it season 5 of Prison Break. But if you go look on IMDb, it doesn't add season 5 to Prison Break. It created a whole new show called Prison Break sequel. So for the benefit of this video, I'm just gonna call it season 5 and not the sequel, because the actors and creators of the show are calling it season 5. So I'm gonna say it's Prison Break season 5 episode 1. Prison Break's original run was on from 2005 to 2009, ranging from season 1 to 4. The last season had Prison Break The Final Break, which they broke up into 2 parts and released as the 2 last episodes and a movie, which is interesting. And now, a lot of years later, we finally get Prison Break Season 5. Needless to say, in this video we're gonna review Prison Break Season 5 Episode 1 Ogygia. The episode opens with a monologue from Wentworth Miller's character Mike, which I'm gonna quote now because it's really significant and has a great impact on the story. He says, "I died 7 years ago, left behind a brother, a wife, a son, but the dead talk if you listen. They're there with you, reaching out, trying to tell you something, because not all deaths are the same. Some are real, some are a story. Question is, do you believe the story? Was the man who died who you thought he was? The dead talk if you listen." Then we see a shot of a prison, and it's Fox River Penitentiary. Now those of you remember, that's where T-Bag is held, and this is the day he's being released. He gets back his items and also an envelope with something in it, addressed to him. After he walked out of the prison, he opened the envelope and inside was a few papers. He looks shocked when he sees it. In Chicago, Lincoln is running away from some people in a Mercedes. He owes them money and they tell him that they're gonna find him and they're gonna kill him if he doesn't pay. He manages to get away, and then when he runs home, he sees T-Bag waiting outside his house with an envelope. Lincoln asked where he found it, and he said he got it when he was released from prison. It was sent to him. Lincoln says if he's playing with him, he's gonna kill him. And T-Bag says what does he have to gain by playing with Lincoln through the emotions of his dead brother. Inside the house they look at the photos, and Lincoln says it's impossible for his brother to still be alive. But T-Bag says who else could have sent it? That photo clearly is him. And when he wants to leave and take the picture with him, Lincoln just stops him and tells him to go, but he keeps the pictures. Lincoln boards a plane to New York. At the car rental company, he thinks 2 people are staring at him, but they get into a car and drive. A while later he sees that the same car and people are following him, but then they turn off. And later he thinks a pickup truck is following him, but it turns off as well. Then he arrives at Sarah's house. Inside, Sarah tells Lincoln that the photos are photoshopped, and she knows he wants it to be true, but Michael is dead. And she knows that a dying brother could leave a hole in your life. And he asks, just as a dying husband could? Then she says yes, and as she says yes, her new husband walks in with her and Michael's son. His name is Mike. After he's gone, Sarah tells Lincoln that Mike idolizes Lincoln and Michael. He looks up to them. They're mythical heroes to him. At a motel, T-Bag puts on his laptop and gets a reminder that he has an appointment with a doctor of prosthetic research tomorrow, but he doesn't remember applying for it. Lincoln goes to visit Michael's grave and talks about how he misses him and wishes to see his face, that he knows it's fake but he really misses him. Then he sees a secret message in the letter, a word, Ogygia. He goes to search it and finds out it's a prison in Yemen. Then he goes to dig up Michael's grave and find that it's empty, but he takes the jacket that's inside. At the appointment, T-Bag is offered to get a prosthetic hand The doctor says that his benefactor only would give him the money if somebody offered to give T-Bag the prosthetic hand first. Later, when Lincoln drives away, the same red car pulls up next to him, taking control of his car and makes him drive off the road. Just before the guy could shoot Lincoln, other people arrive and he drives off. Right as Lincoln calls Sarah to warn them that some people are after them, the same pickup stops outside of her house and a woman gets out and has a gun, comes into their home and tries to kill her. As the police arrive, she shoots her husband Jacob in the leg and gets away. At the hospital, Lincoln talks to Mike to give him some closure. Then he asks if it's about his father, because it seems he's just as smart as Michael. And then Lincoln says yes. He tells Sarah he's going to Yemen to find out if Michael really is there and asks Sarah to come with, but she says she can't. Lincoln goes to C-Note for help because, as Sarah said, he doesn't know a damn thing about Yemen, and C-Note does, because C-Note found religion and completely turned around his life, and they have people working in Yemen to try and save the country because it's in the middle of a civil war. C-Note says that Ogygia is the worst prison in the world, and it doesn't get any worse. They have someone analyze the photo and it seems to be a real photo. Then they search up Michael and find somebody else in his place, so they completely wiped him from existence. The next thing we see is T-Bag going for his operation to get his prosthetic hand. At the hotel where Lincoln is staying, they bring him the jacket that was dry cleaned, and then when someone comes into his room, he turns around and punches him, and then he sees it's Sucre, and Sucre says C-Note told him what's going on, but Lincoln says that he's not coming with them, and if he ever needs him, he'll call. Sucre says that Michael is his best friend and that he wants to come with, but Lincoln doesn't want him to. The same two people that have been following Lincoln are at the airport. The woman suggests that they kill them, but the man says no, they don't need a body to deal with, so he just takes a picture of them. When they arrive at the Yemen airport, someone's there to pick them up, but just as they walk out of the building, the real person that's supposed to pick them up is standing there with a sign in his hand. He drives them into an ambush and where they're attacked by a bunch of people, but Lincoln and C-Note manages to defend themselves. Just as Sheba arrives in a car, she says that the guy that was supposed to pick them up saw them getting to the wrong car and she followed them there. Lincoln tells all of them to throw their phones out the window so that nobody can track them. After T-Bag's procedure is done, he asks the doctor who the benefactor is, and the doctor says nobody. Then T-Bag threatens him and chokes him, and the doctor says the only word that the benefactor used to identify himself was Otis, and when he searched that word, it means nobody in Greek. At the place where Lincoln and C-Note are staying, Lincoln looks at the jacket and inside is a name, Caniel Autis. Sheba introduces Lincoln and C-Note to Omar, who could get them into the prison, but he said it would be expensive, and Lincoln says money's not a problem, but he said he doesn't need money, he wants his American passport because that's worth more than gold in Yemen. It could get anybody out of the country, so a lot of people are willing to pay a lot of money. C-Note tells Lincoln he shouldn't do it because then he couldn't get out of the country, but Lincoln does it anyway because he really wants to see his brother. At Ogygia, they ask if they have an inmate called Michael Schofield and they said no. Then Lincoln said he scammed them, but when they give the prison guard the photo, he says yes, there is a guy in here with the name Caniel Autis. Then Sheba freaks out because Caniel Autis is a terrorist and he works against the government and is put in the prison for murder. Back at the hospital, Mike asks Sarah how his real father was, and she says he was like a storm. Beautiful, frightening and mysterious, and it would come into your life out of the blue skies and disappear just as quickly. And then he asks, but storms can come back, can't they? And she says, yes, but the question is, if they come back, is it the same storm or has something changed? At the prison, Lincoln tells C-Note to get the camera because he wants proof of Michael being alive. When Michael arrives there, Lincoln starts talking to him, but he replies with, my name's not Michael, and I don't know who you are. Sorry. Then he speaks Arabic and tells the guard to let him go back to his cell. As he walks away, he closes his eyes and has a look on his face that says that was the hardest thing he had ever done in his life. I absolutely loved this episode. It was everything that I remember from Prison Break, from the mind trickery to the leaving you wondering if entire life lied to you up until that point. It is really good and I recommend this show. Now if you haven't watched Prison Break yet, I am gonna ask you one question. Have you been living under a rock? Seriously? And gonna tell you one other thing. Go watch it right now. I mean, this is the best show on earth, probably. One of the best at least. It's in my top 10 definitely. And this episode didn't wait to get to its point or something. It was Prison Break. Season 1 of Prison Break, Season 2, 3 and 4. This is exactly how I remember it and this is how it should be. There's no, because it was so long ago that things changed or something like that. It's even the same guy who created Prison Break. So this is Prison Break and there's no difference. It is really amazing. The story of how Prison Break Season 5 came to be is actually an interesting one. Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell, which is Michael and Lincoln in the show, actually got cast as the main characters in another show together, Legends of Tomorrow. And then while they were there, they started talking about Prison Break and how it could be interesting that the things we know aren't the truth and how there's another aspect and a bigger picture. And then, because they started talking, we got a new Prison Break Season 5 and that is actually quite cool. It's always nice to know that the people attached to a TV show or movie or a comic actually also like the thing and they're always gonna push to make it at its best or make another one just to please the fans, and I give them top marks. So without a second thought, I am giving this episode my crown of approval. In fact, this entire show gets my crown of approval. So tell me in the comment section down below what you thought about the review. Tell me what you think about Prison Break Season 1, 2, 3 or 4 and what you think about the new Prison Break. Is it the same for you? Do you like it as much? Did you ever like Prison Break? If not, tell me why. If you did, tell me why. So remember to leave a like on this video. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Enjoy your evening and see you guys next time.